They're invisible to the naked eye.
That would be
So they're
incorrect,
not. They're not IR flares.
Not be
Are
factually
IR
correct.
flares? Are IR flares naked to the
Okay.
invisible to the naked eye?
Yes.
Okay, well, let's just go on and squash this right now. The very last video that I posted, number 31, it's a 1 minute 08 second. Go on and play that, please, if you can. And then we can come back to this because that way we can go on and get this out of the way. This is IR versus. This is now. These are hand flares, or I think these are hand flares. They may be out of like some type of launcher, but it's definitely fired from the ground. But it's 31,
Well,
and it's
actually, Grider, do you mind if we just stay focused on the videos and then we can come back and debate
you made kind
specific
of a point.
points?
We don't want that point to kind of,
we can come back. People. We can come back to it. Grider claims they're IR flares. I claim that they're not flares.
Well, I want to watch. Yeah, I want to watch the video.
Okay, go ahead.
Can you see it?
No.
Can you see it?
Yes.
Yes. So give us some context, Kier Grider. What are we looking at?
This is the this is the video. It's
these are IR flares.
IR flares at the top, and then those
at
are
the top, and then
normal flares.
So,
at the bottom.
Okay.
And you'll see somebody fire them. Hold on. You'll see like another round of firing here in like a second. Right now, you'll see they're firing them. I think with their hand. They may be firing
those are
them
fireworks.
With, no, those
are fireworks.
Those are not fireworks. Now you're gonna make me prove that flares are. These are not.
Fireworks. Those are not. Those aren't fireworks, Arthur.
Yeah, I mean Arthur.
Those are flares.
Those are IR at the top, and then
I think that's where they got. If I'm not mistaken, if you guys look closely, I'm pretty sure the picture earlier is you could see the fucking men right there. This is from the picture I showed earlier.
Is there a description? Is there a description on that video? Is there a description?
No, but look.
They all look the same.
They're in the exact same spot.
No,
we have.
No.
By the way, we have over 750 people here.
No, really?
So yeah, we're like shadow banned on YouTube, but we have a lot of people.
Yeah, I'm not very popular on Twitter either right now, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I want
let's
go back to this video.
Yeah. Okay. Those are fireworks.
I don't think
those are civilian. Those are civilian fireworks. Those aren't military anything.
Arthur, you're digging your own grave, man, right now.
Well, what's the description of the event? Is there a description on this video?
You can see, and one of my main issues with the 29 Pops case was that you could see two different types of lights. Now, the orange we see here, but we also see dimmer white lights that are in formation on the side. Now, I'm not crediting Grider, but I am saying that
I'll credit myself.
There's two distinct sets of flares there in separate formations. And so it is possible. And those are very much different. Those look very different.
There are different types of fireworks. This is
fireworks.
Fireworks.
The warm up too, Arthur. Man,
they make parachute fireworks. If you didn't know that, they make parachute fireworks. What's the description of this video? Is there a description?
No, not.
Yes.
So they're shooting another.
Flares,
look. They're shooting them in formation.
Yeah. Those would be the worst fireworks ever, man.
Yeah, they're not.
I mean, it's like
those would be fireworks I'd go see.
You're trying to celebrate, like, I don't know. I can't even make a joke right now.
But I will say, Grider, there's so much smoke in this picture, in this video, that
the handheld flares, pay attention to the lighting is the biggest thing.
That when I come back to this, I'm like,
Yeah, because
So
did you
we're
see
we're
the
back on
smoke
the
coming from the
witness.
IR flares though? Like, go back and look at the IR flares. You know, the ones in the back. They weren't.
Those
You couldn't
weren't
see any
those
smoke.
weren't IR flares.
You
I'll
can
bet
see smoke
you.
from them.
I'll bet you. Huh. I don't know.
Well,
Let's come up with
from this
something in private chat. All
particular
right, I'll wager.
angle, we can see even from both sets of flares. I can see smoke coming from them, but I can see that they're falling very quick. Not quick. I would definitely say the orange colored flares fall very much faster, but these over here, I don't know if you guys can see my cursor, but these flares, they do maintain an altitude for a much longer a set of time, but I still see smoke trails coming from them. Now, I'm not
They were dropped out of an
discrediting.
airplane, though.
So again, situational could be different. I'm open to that. All I'm saying is there is something. There is something different about what we're seeing here and what we're seeing there. Right? However they drop them, if they are flares, they drop them in some other way.
Well,
They didn't
yeah,
shoot them.
and Mick West will say that the reason you can't see the smoke trails is because these quote unquote IR flares were launched 6 miles away from Camp Wilson, in the middle of a range between Camp Wilson and something called the Training Village. So do you kind of agree with that narrative?
No, I do not. Like, I know nothing about what Mick West said. So
how far away do you think these IR flares, what you're calling IR flares, were launched?
No idea. I mean, I would assume. I mean, basically, it's a question of altitude. I think with the IR flares, I think, were shot at a pretty high altitude, or were dropped by what I would prove to be a MV-22 Osprey. I think is maybe a BB-22. It's basically the Osprey. Yeah, like I have the documents, and yeah, as far as
all right, okay, so you don't have a claim.
Higher.
You don't have a claim about the distance that these are. You're just leaving that open.
No, I do not. But they have to be close enough to be photographed by the FOIA photographer. You know, the Marine Corps photographer who took the photos. That
17 miles. Yeah, at the training. The training village that the FOIA photos were taken at was 17 miles away from Camp Wilson.
Yeah, that sounds good. Sure.
So somewhere in the midpoint between Camp Wilson and the training village is where I guess most of the skeptics are saying these 5 quote unquote IR flares were dropped.
You're debating me, man. Debating me. I don't know what skeptics are saying. I'm just
yeah.
me, baby.
So
all right, I'm just
let's
me.
yeah. So let's keep it to. Let's try to keep Mick West out of it as much as we can, just because we don't want to bring in potential information that we don't all have. Because I don't have all Mick West's case file on this as well.
All right.
And so let's try to keep it to what the facts that we have are. Now, I'm going to restart this video in particular because I did mute it. So I want to unmute it and start it from the beginning. This is, again, wait.
You can't hear it still. You're sharing it, but the audio's off.
I gotta re-add it, unfortunately. When you can you hear it?
I cannot. I can't see it either.
No, you can see
now we can.
It's moving.
Why don't you start from the beginning?
Those are not aluminum rounds because aluminum rounds fall.
It's so hard to keep it.
And nobody shoots in a 5-gun section.
I want to bring one more thing up. So he said no one shoots in a 5-gun a 5-gun
section.
5-gun section. You, Grider, brought that up earlier. So it kind of goes to show you that these guys either didn't know what was going on that night, or again, maybe their accomplice is to like some sort of, I don't want to say lie, but leaning
A
into
hoax.
a
I
hoax.
just think maybe I mean, you'd be surprised how how little people pay attention. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
right.
right?
But
Just not paying attention.
but this gentleman knows that they weren't shot, right? First of all, and you're saying that they weren't shot either. You're saying if
I
these
mean,
are flares, and they are flares, you're saying that they were dropped from an Osprey,
they were 100% dropped from an Osprey.
not shot.
I mean, they were shot out of an Osprey, but
Not shot from the ground is what I'm saying.
not the 5. No, definitely not the
Okay.
5 that we see. Absolutely 100% not.
Okay, just thank you for clearing that up.
No, you can see like an outline of something.
Again, I want to pause it. Like, I hate doing this. Can you both comment on that? We know for a fact that with our eyes, and like I did it last night, there was a full moon last night. I pointed my camera to the full moon. Even though I have an iPhone 15, brand new, newest model, the moon shows up like a glowing ball of light. You can't get any definition. They're saying they see an outline. Can you accommodate that, Grider? What would make for what would accommodate for the outline that they're seeing? Because it sounds like they're saying they're seeing an outline of a craft.
Yeah, smoke and light. I mean, smoke, light, distance,
Okay.
And I would say that they're telling the truth, and they know what they're seeing, and that this highly credible military witness says he saw an outline. I believe he saw an outline.
It's moving. What you got?
Again, take me to your leader. It's kind of on the nose.
Oh hell no! Yo, we got aliens out here, dog.
My phone camera says.
Yo, this is fucking weird.
We got UFOs outside.
Yo, everyone's out here.
Everybody's out here.
Those.
All right, Grider. And Arthur, that video I find to be the testimony in it. Plus how for 36 seconds we watched your video, Grider.
Those are not aluminum rounds.
In this video, this craft, I'm gonna kind of just like roll it across. It doesn't seem like they're falling. It seems like they're actually moving. Unless the camera orientation is moving, it looks like moving up instead of down. Now, could that be wind?
Yeah, I mean,
can you
think about it?
Can
like
both of
they're dropped over like the top of a mountain, so you have the updraft. You know how you get turbulence when you like fly over, like a mountain range. You get that updraft, that turbulence, of air. It's the same thing. And also, I mean, they're parachute flares. They function like a hot air balloon. It's hot air going up into a parachute. It provides lift. Would be my answer.
Parachute flares 100% go down all the time. They never go up. They're not designed to go up. They're not designed to hover. They're designed to go down.
But we do know that sometimes the phosphorus or whatever is burning in the parachute, it can act like a hot air balloon, right? Which would allow it to maintain at least.
That's kind of like a Chinese lantern type idea. That's the idea of what you're kind of describing. These just don't have the same sort of setup as a Chinese lantern. The distance from the parachute to the flare is pretty far. So it's not collecting hot air in the same way as the Chinese lantern does. So they're completely different. You might be getting some up